was almost like you guys caught me jacking off. But I wasn't. I was in my refrigerator. I don't know if you guys could see it. I'm not going to turn it, but I got a little refrigerator over there, okay? So shut up. We're waiting for Mr. Jason Arntz so we can get Anabolic Academy on the way. And this is Serious Silliness Bodybuilding Anabolic Academy. Mr. Jason Arntz should be showing up shortly, but today we're going to be going over the most powerful steroids and why they are the most powerful steroids that you could possibly take. Where is this motherfucker? Shit. So before we get Arntz gets here, he could probably add some if he wants to, but in my opinion, the three most powerful steroids that you could possibly take is clearly testosterone. I'm writing it down so I don't forget because I'm stupid. Anadrol. You know what? That's disgusting. I'm not watching the show anymore. You guys just fucking burp. It's fucking gross. Anadrol and Tren. You know what? Hold on. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay? See, that wasn't too bad. I wanted to get my hat. Sometimes I feel better with my hat on. It all depends on how I fucking do things. I don't know. I'm an idiot. All right. So those to me are probably the most. Obviously, we're not going to be talking about insulin or growth hormone. It is going to be straight anabolic steroids. So why don't we actually just pull it up on? Let's see if we could do that. What is the most powerful steroid before Jason gets here? And then we will see if we could actually. There we go. Oh, okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to share what I guess you can call it chat TB, BBT, GB, GB, TB, DB, DBD, EB, DB, DBD. I'm going to share what it says right here. Okay? Share. Now, it actually says the strongest anabolic steroid is trenbolone, known for its unmatched anabolic and androgenic effects, providing rapid muscle growth and strength while avoiding estrogen-related side effects. Trenbolone, the apex steroid. Trenbolone is a synthetic derivative of nandrolone and is widely regarded as the most potent anabolic steroid available. Its anabolic rating is approximately 500 compared to testosterone's baseline of 100, with an equally high androgenic rating, giving it extraordinary muscle building and male characteristic effects. Originally developed for veterinary use to increase livestock muscle mass, it became popular in bodybuilding for its ability to deliver lean muscle gain, strength, and vascularity without significant water retention or gynecomastia. Now, that's just Tren. Now, I've used both. Obviously, okay. Yeah, Tren is extremely powerful, but it's also extremely toxic. And the side effects, you're not going to get an anabolic steroid that is going to be really strong without side effects. And there are always side effects. Trend side effects are always the most inconvenient, uncomfortable, erratic. Just to me, unless you are competing, not really. The ends don't justify the means. So yeah, it is extremely strong. You will get very strong. You will get very muscular. You will get very veiny, but you will wake up in a pool of sweat. You will have high blood pressure. You'll have tremendous tension and possibly anxiety. You will be edgy. You will be irritable. Now, not all the side effects are obviously for everybody, right? It's not going to be for everybody. Some might be more sensitive to the side effects than others. Some might not be. But for the most part, you are going to experience these side effects with such a strong steroid, okay? Now, I would only get the Tren cough when it was from Tren acetate. Others have not given me the Tren. Like if I use the Tren, let me see. Oh, he's coming. Jay's coming. If I had used the Tren and Anate, I really didn't get Tren cough too much. Okay. Hex, I really didn't get Tren cough too much. And then they had like this mixture, this tri-Tren of all three. I really didn't get Tren. I would only really get Tren cough from Tren acetate. I don't know why. I can't answer why, but the side effects are really inconvenient. And if you are a guy that just wants to kind of go to the gym and work out and get in shape, there's no reason to take Tren. There really is, especially if you're an older guy, because your blood pressure is really gonna be out of whack. And you don't want to have to deal with that when you're an older gentleman. You really don't want to have to deal with that. When you are an older guy over 40, you want to just stay in shape, use testosterone, maybe growth hormone, and you're kind of good. But clearly, Tren is clearly an extremely powerful steroid. Yo, dude, what's up?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
I'm almost home, dude. I'm still driving back.
Where are you?
My daughter had her senior soccer banquet for high school.
Oh, bro, you could have just told me. I would have did it alone or would have did it with somebody else. It's not a big deal.
Let me get in the light so you can see my handsome face.
I know. Well, I'm screen sharing. We're doing the 3 most powerful steroids, and okay. I looked up ChatGPT, and it says Trenbolone is the most powerful steroid. So I read the definition, and we were going down Trenbolone a little bit.
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong. These are the 3 most powerful that I have. I have Tren, Anadrol, and testosterone.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean,
okay.
You could say halotestin.
Oh, I forgot about halotestin. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you could put that one in the mix. Maybe even a little more androgenic than straight testosterone. And halotestin is a pure DHT, so it's more of a hard hitter.
Let's actually do that. Let's look up halotestin. Let's see. What is halotestin? Let's see. Here we go. Can you see that? Can you see the screen?
Dude, even if I wasn't in the car, I need my glasses to see that shit.
Oh, no problem. Okay, so here we go. Halotestin is also known as a word I can't pronounce. Don't know it.
It's Latin.
Yeah. Is a synthetic androgen and anabolic steroid used medically for testosterone replacement, delayed puberty, and certain hormone responsive breast cancers, while also being known for its use in sports to enhance strength and performance. Halotestin is an oral anabolic steroid derived from testosterone. Chemically, it is known as fluximazole, again, the word I can't pronounce.
All right.
And is recognized for its strong androgenic and moderate anabolic properties. Unlike some steroids, halotestin does not convert into estrogen, which avoids water retention and reduces the risk of estrogen-related side effects like gynecomastia, first developed in the 1950s and been used medically since 1957.
Right.
Okay.
What does it say about Anadrol?
I did not look up Anadrol yet. All right, so let me look up Anadrol. Let's see. What is Anadrol? All right, here we go. Let me actually share it first. Share screen so people could see it. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. Okay, now everybody should be able to see it. Anadrol, also known as oxymethylone, is a potent oral anabolic androgenic steroid originally developed to treat anemia that has significant effects on muscle growth, strength, and red blood cell production. Anadrol is derived from dihydrotestosterone and belongs to the class of anabolic androgenic steroids. It was first introduced in the late 1950s and has been used medically to treat conditions like anemia, osteoporosis, and muscle wasting associated with like HIV, AIDS, or malnutrition. The drug works mostly by binding to androgen receptors, enhancing protein synthesis, nitrogen retention, red blood cell production, which leads to increased muscle mass strength and endurance.
What does it say about estrogen?
On that one, let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. Does it say? Let's see. Medical uses, administration doses, side effects, hair loss, blah, 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 hormonal suppression, suppresses other side effects. Doesn't really say anything specifically about estrogen. I could probably ask it.
Okay.
Would you like me to ask it?
Yeah, I would like to see what it says.
Okay.
It's specified in halotestin.
Affect estrogen. Okay. All right, here we go. Anadrol is a DHT anabolic steroid, unlike testosterone, or other aromatizable steroids. It does not convert to estrogen via the aromatase enzyme. That's what it says. Despite its inability to aromatize, Anadrol can produce estrogen-type side effects, including water retention, gynecomastia, increased blood pressure. That's what it says.
Nutritional anodization pathway supported by not directed.
So, we kind of covered the strongest ones. I kind of want to go into what makes them the strongest. So, like, let's start off with trenbolone. So we said tren, Anadrol, halotestin. What is it about tren that makes it so strong?
It's a pure androgen.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so androgens are more powerful than anabolics. They're methylated, so they're more toxic. But the way it hits, it's 100 times more powerful than just taking a straight anabolic. With something like Anadrol and halotestin, those are pure DHT, so they don't have to convert from testosterone to dehydrotestosterone. It's just a pure dehydrotestosterone. So it hits hard.
Okay.
So it becomes more powerful. When anything has to get converted from testosterone to a DHT, it loses some potency in the conversion process.
I see. And tren is a straight androgen, is what you're saying.
Well, it's a straight androgen. It's not a DHT. It's a 19-nortestosterone.
Okay,
but it hits differently.
Okay. Now, from your experience, what was John? You the man. Thanks so much for the T-shirt. Oh, somebody got the T-shirt. Oh, okay. You're very welcome, John. I'm glad you got it. Wear it well. Thank you, sir. We'll wear it proudly. Thank you. From your experience, now everybody has different effects from using it. Halotestin, tren, and Anadrol. Which one was the strongest for you?
They were all pretty. I loved Anadrol. Tren Tren was great. You can't stay on Tren forever.
I don't think you can't stay on either any of those three forever.
Right. Halotest I would only use like the last couple of weeks before a show.
Me too.
So I was never on it long enough to experience the powerful, androgenic effects. Just more like the last minute ones, 10 days out, just to really get that muscle hardening look, that good granite looking, less water retention. But it hits hard where you don't have to do it for more than 10 days. So yeah, those three are. I mean, ChatGPT was pretty correct with those three.
Pretty accurate, right? Yeah. I did use halotestin. Same thing. I've only used it once, and I used it the same thing. I think it was a couple of weeks before the last contest I did. But the one thing that I remembered about halotestin was it probably made me the strongest of any steroid I ever used.
Right.
I was squatting. I remember it was a couple of weeks before the Brooklyn Grand Prix, and I squatted 4 plates for 20 reps.
Damn.
Yeah. And I mean, I always had pretty strong legs, but I remember I squatted 4 plates for 20 reps. And at the time, I was using testosterone, I was using halotestin, I was using Masteron, Tren, and I did not realize what made it so strong because I was using so much, and of course growth, blah, blah, blah. But now thinking back, it had to be the halotestin because I've used Tren on separately. I've used testosterone separately, the growth hormone separately, and the halotestin also was clearly the most uncomfortable because it made me the most aggressive and the most anxious of any anabolic steroid I've ever used.
Right.
And that seems to be the trade-off. The stronger it is, the more inconvenient the side effects really are. That's the big trade-off. It is strong and it is going to work and it's going to make you big and strong. You are going to get the effects and results you want, but man, I'm not kidding. Halotestin, I almost had a nervous breakdown. I mean, it literally had nothing on Tren as far as being irritable. I mean, Tren had nothing on halotestin as far as being irritable.
Right.
That much I remember. I also remember saying, "I'm never using this again."
Yeah, I never experienced those. I don't think I experienced those irritability type of side effects. I've always been a little short fused, but I was like that before anabolics. So I can't really say that it gave me the same effect. I definitely felt maybe a little more aggressive in the gym. And maybe that's just where I channeled it. Maybe it did, and I just was able to channel it, in the gym at that time. And thank God I did. But I never really experienced like the roid rage or the temperament that you hear people not necessarily brag about, but it goes so often talked about that that's what it does. I can't really say that I went through any of that stuff.
Did you ever have a girlfriend and then she drove you crazy and blamed it on the fucking steroids? I've had that happen.
No.
Really? Oh, I've had that happen. And it's like, what's strange? When I'm not with you, I'm fine. So I don't think it's the fucking steroid.
Right. Yeah. No, I never really had issues like that with any girl I dated. And I had a rough ex-wife, so that was if anyone was to test me, it would have been during those times.
Yeah.
Exactly. But no, I can't say that I did.
Yeah, I've had girls do that. But so basically that's what we'll break it. So it's Tren, Anadrol, and halotestin. And basically those are clearly the strongest. But I'm also going to put testosterone in that category.
Yeah.
Because testosterone is you explain because you could articulate it much better than I can. So
it's just a hormone that replicates your natural testosterone levels. There has to be, like I said, there has to be a conversion to DHT to raise those testosterone levels, but it's an exogenous form of your body's natural testosterone. Mm-hmm. But when you don't take anything, if you just take pure testosterone, it's pretty powerful. It has a kick. So
Absolutely, yeah.
nobody's going to say like it's not unfair, to have that on the list. If that's on the list, rightfully so.
Mm.
But I think the more, androgenic DHT driven anabolics are the ones that earn that name. But testosterone, great drug, um, serves tons of purposes, and when used correctly, it could benefit you, and if used improperly, it could do some damage.
Yeah. Now let's move on to Anadrol, because the only real side effect I ever got from Anadrol was really destroying my appetite.
Yeah, I mean that's common.
I never really with testosterone. It was a multitude of side effects.
Right.
Blood pressure, night sweats, being irritable, trend cough. But with Anadrol, the only side effect was killing my appetite, and it was usually caused by it was directly related to how much I was taking.
So I could say this: the only side effect you noticed was your appetite decreasing.
Yeah, right. Yes. Yeah.
If you would have gotten blood work done while taking Anadrol, see, Anadrol was invented for people with sickle cell anemia who had iron deficiencies, who were basically anemic, where their body doesn't produce enough red blood cells.
Mm-hmm.
So your red blood cell count goes up, your iron goes your hematocrit goes up. This is where the benefits of donating blood come in, because Anadrol definitely thickens your blood.
Mm.
And it's the same effect for endurance athletes who do blood doping. They do blood doping to raise their red blood cell count, so more oxygen gets to the lungs at a quicker rate, gives you better endurance, blah 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 blah.
Right.
But Anadrol has those androgenic properties to it, so there is muscle gain and a little water retention and so with it. So you get a little more severity of that with increased heart rate and blood pressure too. Where blood doping is just where they inject your blood back in you to get to a higher oxygen level. But yeah, appetite, because of the high blood volume, that's a main cause of suppressing your appetite. So because your blood volume was increased, your appetite is diminished a little bit.
Okay.
It used to kill my appetite too. That's how I knew it was real.
Yeah. Really good point. Absolutely. Yeah. But it was always, if I went 50 milligrams or more, it would destroy my appetite.
Right.
If I was between 50 and 100 milligrams, it would destroy my appetite. If I was taking 30 milligrams a day, it wouldn't have that same effect.
Right. Well, it came in a 50 milligram dose. They were Anadrol 50s. So the common dose was 50 milligrams. I knew guys that were taking 3 or 4 a day. I had really good success just taking 1 a day. I never went above that.
Yeah. I don't know how anybody, if you remember a few years back, I think it was like 2 years ago, Milos was on Jay Cutler's podcast.
Yeah.
He was talking about how much, and NASA was taking 500 milligrams of Anadrol a day.
Or supposedly 5 a day, which would be 250 mgs. Maybe I don't know if he's taking 10, dude.
Either way, it's fucking insane.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot.
And I don't know how, if 50 or 100 milligrams destroyed your appetite, how do you deal with taking that much? Or is it just like I was saying before, certain side effects people don't deal with, certain side effects people
He died. He died.
Yeah, I know he died. Yeah, okay, I get it.
At a relatively young age, so he didn't deal with the side effects very well.
Yeah.
And to be honest, what people don't realize is almost all anabolic steroids are derived from cholesterol molecules that are methylated. Okay. Mm-hmm. And as much as we check our blood and as much as we try to stay healthy during this, what happens is you have that running through your system 24 hours a day. And if it's not building up plaque in your arteries, what it is doing is it's hardening your arteries because your blood pressure is so high that those arteries have to pump harder, right, to get the blood through. So over years and years of time, the arteries get harder and harder and harder. And it's not something you could pick up in an EKG or an echocardiogram or even a stress test. It's something that you need a cardiocatheterization to really tell if you have that thickening in the arteries or the clogged arteries, right? So people could go for a normal heart screening and think they're completely healthy, which a lot of these guys do, which hence, kind of makes sense why a lot of these guys are falling off the past few years, because you have all these years of people taking anabolics and nobody's really taking into account proper heart care. And nobody really teaches you to get a calcium score test, go get a cardiocatheterization, an angiogram to see what the fuck you're doing to yourself. And then people act shocked when somebody dies, at a young age, when they have a history of abusing anabolic steroids. And anabolic steroids by themselves are really not harmful when they're taking, at the doses they're recommended to take.
Right.
But who the fuck does that?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah, no, especially.
And dude, what I could mention is, let's say you're prescribed 200 milligrams of cypionate a week, right? For TRT or H hormone replacement therapy, right?
Right.
You guys are taking 500 to 1,000, so right there, just with the one drug.
Yeah.
That's abuse, right?
Yes.
Then
yes.
you add in the DEC and the Tren and the Anadrol and the other orals and the this, and I'm not surprised.
Right. No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, with these really, really strong anabolics, would you ever recommend anybody taking them?
Well, look, there's that question that we're all asked when we're kids. If you could take something that would make you a super athlete or put you on a level, but it's going to take a few years off your life, would you do it? And 90% of everybody says yes, of course. Why not?
Yeah.
I'm older now, dude. And if you ask me that now, my answer might be a little different. Like you want to live a little longer if you have kids. You want to be a part of things. You're not, when you're living in that moment, dude, you're willing to take that risk, and I get it because I did it.
Right. Yeah.
If you want to be a pro athlete, look, and to be honest, pro athletes in any sport, okay, they're not the ones that are living the longest, so it's the people, believe it or not, that you're not really thinking of that live to 100 years old. Or
absolutely.
Most athletes, they get, and just like I was talking about the thickening of the arteries, there's another word for it. It's called athlete's heart. It's when it's pumping so much for endurance athletes, sprinters, runners, marathon runners, people that do extreme sports. When your heart goes into that mode, when it's accelerating at a high rate for a long time, those arteries get thicker, and through time they get calcified. So if you ask me, would I recommend, look, if you want to be an athlete and you want to do something in your life and make a name and have a legacy, dude, okay, is it worth shortening your life? Yeah, dude, probably.
Right.
Probably. Right. But you have to ask yourself that question, and what I believe is that everybody in the moment, and I was that person too, everybody in the moment is going to give up a few years in their life to live the life they want to live right now. You know what I mean?
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, absolutely.
But dude, look at a fireman. Look at a fireman. You know what I mean? Would you take this job? You could die on the job tomorrow, dude. Or would you want to live to be 95 years old? Dude, I want to be a fucking fireman. I want to be a cop. I want to join the military.
That's right.
There's side effects to everything, dude.
You're 100% right. Yeah, absolutely. My answer was, if you wanted to compete, then I would say, oh, listen, you really don't have, much of a choice. If you wanted to be a higher level competitive athlete, competitive bodybuilder, you don't have much of a choice. But if you're a guy in the gym that just wants to get in shape and is kind of thinking about doing some kind of an anabolic cycle, then I would say these really hard drugs aren't for you. I would never recommend, a guy or a young kid or any guy or anybody at that age that just wants to get in shape and is thinking about, jumping on testosterone or growth hormone or whatever the case may be, to use Tren, Anadrol, halotestin, so on and so forth. I definitely would say no. Now, obviously it's up to them. You do what you want. My recommendation would be no. If you want, like you said, if you wanted to be a high level competitive athlete, if you want to go on to a national level, possibly get your pro card, you're probably not going to have a choice, but I would never recommend it to the average person. I was having a conversation with a guy at work today Matter of fact, we were working overtime, and he's a young guy, and he was asking me. He's always picking my brain, which is fine. I love talking about it. And he was asking me about Tren. He was asking me about Debo. He was asking me about everything, and he's never used anything, or so on and so forth. And I was like, "How old are you?" He goes, 27. I'm like, first of all, the things you're picking are way too strong. You don't have to use anything like that. And I was like, if you use a little bit of testosterone, being your age, you'll see a big difference. I wouldn't even waste my time doing things like Anadrol or Tren. And I was like, stop listening to the assholes in the gym, because there's no reason for you to use anything that strong. One, at your age, and two, just to get in shape.
Right.
What do you think?
I think if you're looking to get into bodybuilding, I would say take your cycles, show accordingly, right? And what I mean by that is if it's your first show, you don't need to be on everything what the pros are doing, what the pros are taking. Start off with something really mild. See what your physique does. Look, I know a million guys that want to be pro bodybuilders, but none of them really, a small percentage of them have the genetics or the physique to do it. So,
Right.
Do a show with minimal gear, and if you win and you're getting feedback, hey, you could take this further. You have potential. And you take it a step further. And I would, it's just such a race to the bottom now, where in my time, it used to be your cycles elevated the higher up you competed,
Right.
Most people, like, it was almost like it was, a staple where most guys wouldn't even take growth hormone until they turned pro.
Yeah.
Now you have people doing it at regional shows.
Yeah.
So,
I said that last time. It's unbelievable. NPC shows are doing growth. Yeah.
If it could go back to that, it would be great. You know what I mean? I would recommend that, but who the fuck's going to listen to me, dude? Everybody wants to get there faster. Everybody wants to do one show and get a pro card. There's no.
Yeah. Good luck.
Right. Well, the thing is, and the people that want to do that, they don't have mentally what it takes to be a pro. Because to be a pro, you have to realize this takes years of training and developing and maturing, and it ain't going to happen after one show, Yeah.
Even the guys with the greatest genetics.
Yeah.
Put in the time. Even Nick Walker needed 10 years to put that physique together. It wasn't like, it's never
imagine telling somebody 10 years nowadays, dude. They can't watch a video clip for more than 20 seconds.
Yeah, you're right.
They don't want to sit in a movie theater.
Just out of curiosity, the first time you did a competitive contest, what was the first cycle you did for a competitive contest? Let me put it that way.
Well, I competed when I was 16 and I didn't take anything.
What was the first thing? What was the first cycle you did when you did compete?
I believe when I was 19, I did the Teenage New Jersey, and I think I took Primovolin. That was it.
Yeah.
Primovolin, and then I did the Teenage Muscle Mania, and all I did was one Parabolin every 6 or 7 days. That was it.
Yeah. No, I have something similar.
I was fucking 19.
When I was 23 in the first contest I did, and you were there, you were the guest poser.
Yeah.
It was Mr. Staten Island, and I did Primobolin, Winstrol, and Tyrannobol, but they call them pink D balls. Remember the little? They were like hexagon little pink D balls. And the Winstrol was 1 injection every other day, and the Primobolin was, I think, 1 cc twice a week.
Right.
And even back then, that was like, oh wow,
Yeah. I might have done testosterone and for the Teenage New Jersey, I might have done testosterone Prima, but I cut this testosterone out like 4 or 5 weeks out. And it was just Primobolin until 3 weeks out, and then I stopped that. So it wasn't been for long times,
Yeah, absolutely. And then, like you said, it increasingly gets, more and more as you compete. But then I also think that, because I remember Dave Palumbo saying he got to a point when he was competing where he literally just used testosterone and Tren or testosterone and Parabolin, and that was it.
Yeah,
he didn't use anything else. So I think it gets to a point where you kind of, you become a guinea pig and you find out what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what's necessary, what's not necessary.
Well, and I get that, but what I recommend is be a guinea pig with the least resistance.
Yes.
Like, some people, they want to just start doing 5 or 6 drugs at once. Just pick one or two in small doses and just elevate yourself little by little, and then take a break and then do it again. Like, the more you constantly pound these heavy drugs and you become dose dependent where you're not going to respond to little bits anymore. So the more you do, the more you have to do.
Mm-hmm. One other thing I want to say is this episode is brought to you by I Prevail Subs. Let's not forget www.I-Prevail Subs. The link is in the description and the discount code is there, SNS10. And how I got to order the fiber from you. How is the fiber selling? Is it selling good?
Fiber's selling good. Great feedback. People are becoming regular, which I'm proud of. I can take full responsibilities of bowel movements. So I get a good sensation when I think about people going to the bathroom on my product. It just brings tears to my eyes.
Okay.
Knowing I'm helping maintain proper digestion and regulation.
It fucking helps. Let me tell you.
It does.
Rogue X, probably the best pre-workout that I've ever used.
Dude, new flavor. Just got in yesterday.
Amino Impact, new flavor. What is that?
Tropical Paradise Tea.
Very nice. Sounds very tasty.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And so go and get yourself supplements from I Prevail Subs. Jason, thank you again, man. I really appreciate you coming on every week, brother.
Anytime, brother. Thank you.
All right, we'll be in touch.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
All right, later.